Hi everyone, so in today's video we're going to continue working with Spellbinders' new club kits for November of 2025. I plan on using the stencil of the month. We're going to need something else like a sentiment or something else to go on top of this, but I do want to make this background and then we'll go from there. So the Cherry Chic, that's so hard for me to say because of the two CHs, so Cherry Chic or Cherry Chick, I guess if you like to say it that way. Stencil is what I'll be working with. So I will say that they, Spellbinders did send these items free of charge for my review, and of course, all opinions are my own. And the links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. Super appreciate the support. I do have them for the US and the UK, and as you know, if you're a current club member or if you're signing up now, when you see this video, the clubs will be open for new signups. You always get 10% off the site as long as you're logged in and you're a current member. So, something to think about. All right. So when I, first showed these, I know some of these are going to have green and red on the same stencil. Otherwise, they're pretty much split up. But these stripes here, so you're going to fill up your, piece of cardstock with those stripes. I think black and white would be cute. Oh, how about, Yeah, so I was thinking blues would be cute because it's kind of like navy with the cherries. I think that looks really pretty. I mean, whatever colors you would like. Of course, maybe yellows, right, in the background. But now I'm thinking black and white. Like just leaving... I'm just trying to think if there's one that I should do better than the other if I do that. That's interesting. Let's do black and white, but let's start up here with the black. Yeah, let's try that. And that means I'm not going to do anything with the second one because there's nothing to do. So I do have my card base ready for this tutorial. So 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4.25. I know it makes my camera freak out. Sorry, there you go. That's a standard A2 size card base. This one I already cut down. I mean, you can cut it down afterwards or not cut it down at all, but I always like to cut down my card bases to about 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I'm going to have to take real good care of that when I place it on here. This would be a good place to use a grip mat, which I have several. I just like to show that you don't need anything special to do these kinds of things. So I'm just going to put this down, obviously with something to take care or, protect my work surface. But I'm going to eyeball that because I already trimmed my paper down, like I said, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And so... it's a little scary because that might still move, but I'm just going to hold it down. And I didn't plan on using black because I was just, I kind of thought of that off the top of my head here. So let me grab some inks and some tools. Actually, as I'm looking over here, because I have my other club kits, still on my little magnetic board, maybe we pair this with the stamp and the clear stamp and die of the month because I haven't used that yet. And I think it would pair real well with the little girls kind of doing their thing. So let's see about that. Okay, so I'm just gonna take some black and let's not make this more difficult than it has to be. Pretty easy. I'm gonna turn this sideways because I feel like I need to go with the grain here. And again, I told you guys I need to re-ink my black inks especially. So this is gonna take a minute, but I'm just gonna build up the color like this, okay? Just going across this guy. Okay, I'll keep going across this whole thing. And however dark, that's up to you, how much you want to keep going. That looks pretty cool. It's so funny because it looked a lot lighter, the depth of the color there. When you remove it and it's stark white, it definitely looks different. That's so pretty. So cute. Okay. I'm gonna wash my hands so I don't have an accident here, and then we'll continue on with the next layers. So that was layer 1, and it's very cute because it has the little number 1 on the cherry there. Like I said, I'm not gonna use layer 2 because there's really no need for this plan. So let me put that to the side. So I'm not gonna use layer 2, but if you wanted to use layer 2, you just bring it out. It has little registration marks because they're assuming you're going to use a 4 1/4 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. So if you did, you would just line it up. So with this one, I can see what I'm doing though, so I can just go like this and do the stripes. And for some reason, this to me seems like a portrait mode type thing, but it could be landscape. I mean, the cherries are all over the place, right? Some are facing up and down and all those things, so it doesn't have to be just this way. But anyway, you would place it and do your second color, right? I'm not going to use number 2, so I'll just put that to the side. And we are going to be using number 3 that I have backwards for some reason. Okay. You know with stencils, if you want things facing the opposite way, all I have to do is use them all backwards or upside down, and that works too. But anyway, so let's not do that today. 3 is going to have green stems. So again, I'm kind of eyeballing this because I don't really have registration lines since I kind of made up the sizing. I'm not sure if this is where I'm supposed to be. That looks right. Okay. There we go. I'm trying to see where I'm supposed to line up these things, and it's totally different what I did at the top than at the bottom. So I'm trying to... That looks good. That all looks good. That is so funny. I lined up these top ones, and these were all way off, and then when I lined these up and then went back to this, I could see that those are perfect. I was actually getting a little stressed. I'm like, I guess I'm just going to go with it. Like, not being exactly where I want them. That is so weird. Okay. You know, I brought out the colors I need, but not the greens. Silly me. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Yeah, I just keep these stacked, and I brought the blue out because I thought I was going to do blues with the red, and then I changed my mind, and I had to go down there and dig out the green ones that are down lower. Okay, generally you build up your color, so light to dark, so I'll probably will start off with a light green. It doesn't really matter, and if you want, you know, something to be sparkly, maybe you want to use like a glitter paste, you can just kind of think about that, like, oh, I actually want that to be the last thing I use, or, you know, even though that's number 2 in the order, use your stencils in whatever order you want, guys. Sometimes people will comment like, oh, you went out of order. They're supposed to be like, it's whatever you want. Okay, so as you see, I skipped over number 2 completely, and I'm not going to go back to it. Ooh, how fun would be, well, no. I was going to say if you went back to it with like a glitter paste, but then it would cover some of these things. But anyway, all right. Okay, so that's a lighter green. It's all right. And then number 4 has red and green on it. Now, if you just want to go for it and just do everything red, you know, part of your leaves are going to have red. Or, which I'm going to do is, see, this was easier to line up. I don't know why that was so hard to line up the other one. I'm probably going to go through and eyeball everything. So a little bit of a bummer. Honestly, you can probably do everything red and then come back in with a dark, dark green, and it'll hit the accents of the leaves without having to like pick each little thing. But that's up to you. So I'm going to go with a mid-color green because the next one has the dark, like this is the last thing and it's more greenery. This is doing part of the leaf, and this is going to finish your leaf and also do a little accent on the cherry. So I'm going to do green on that. So I'm going to use finger daubers, guys, or, you know, your little stencil brushes, the smaller ones. I know Spellbinders carries those. They're really nice. And just only put greenery where I want green, right? So just here and here. Wherever I see these little leaves, I'll go and do that. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. I mean, this is going by pretty quickly, actually. So here and here and here, all right? Hit all the little greenery, and I will be right back. To be honest, that didn't take that long. I would have loved for these to be 2 separate stencils, but they're not, and so we're going to work with it the way it is. Let's see. The next one, some red, and these are the cherry. This is going to be the cherry color, so whatever color you want your cherries to actually be. The next stencil, again, only gives like a little accent. So... and I'll probably do that with green just to do it all at once. So I'm going to take this guy and watch my fingers. I'm just kind of keeping, just in case I have colors I don't want to get on here. And just come in here and again, just take a little care that you're not getting in the leaves, right? And they're pretty far apart from each other, so it's easy to do this and not get it where you don't want. So, okay. So I'll be back. I think I got everything. I left some a little lighter than others just to have some variation of color there. Look how cute. Okay. And again, it didn't take too long. You know, I do appreciate tongue-tied finally. I do appreciate that they're pretty far apart from each other, so it's easy to do with a finger dauber or like a stippling brush, right? A little smaller one. And I'll use the darkest green for this last piece, and this is going to go and finish up your little leaves, because the only part of the leaf right now has color on it. And so again, I probably should have paid attention, but hey, that's pretty good. I was gonna say where I lined up the other ones, I just started and I didn't really think about seeing where the registration marks were, but hey, not too bad. Okay, there we go. And I'll put these on the very side. Where's my other one? And now I'm just gonna take this darker green and just do the whole thing. If you want these to be darker red instead of green, then I would recommend, again, just going in and dab, dab, dab each little area. I'm really pushing hard because these brushes, blending brushes, do a really nice job, but they're very soft. So if you really want to work up that color, you have to like mean it. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm just going to do the whole thing. Yeah, I think that's pretty good, but this whole thing is very green, so I'm just gonna really get all that color in. Okay. Oh, cute. There you go. So you have your greenery, and then the little accents on the cherry are green also. I'm gonna wash everything up, and I'll be right back. Okay, let's go ahead and glue this guy down. And look how fresh and cute that is. I'm telling you, you can put it however you like, right? I'm just gonna glue it down, and then we'll continue on, and you know, like I said, probably use the stamp of the month. Why not? So I'll be right back. Okay, so I just put a little weight on that, flatten it out, and I have a piece of, I hope, alcohol ink marker cardstock here. I think with this it would be cute to do like watercolor because it's just kind of softer. But I'm just going to use this today with some alcohol ink markers. And this little girl with the little doggy is very cute, very French looking with her little beret and stuff. Let me see. For my brunch day, every sending smiles, best brunch buddy. Thanks for being sending smiles with every step. Let's go with this little girl. She has little shopping bags. So I'm just going to take an acrylic block and just stamp it because we're going to cut her out with the dies from the die and stamp of the month. See? Oh, I got it really close to the edge of the paper, so hopefully that's enough to get her little image cut out. And I'm just making sure this is touching everywhere since I didn't use a stamp positioner. Again, very soft, and that's why I went with this charcoal color, just to kind of soften that a little bit. And we'll probably have a sentiment, but thanks for being my go-to girl, best brunch buddy. We'll use this one. Well, and then I have these guys from the Better Press, like Life's More Fun with a Little Flair. Life's Better with Girlfriends. It's cute, charm to know you. Yeah, maybe I'll use this. Okay, I'm not going to do the sentiment from the stamp set. Okay, and so I'm going to let that dry just for a little bit. I mean, it's water-based. Obviously, alcohol ink markers are not going to activate that, but I always let them dry anyway. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm not like the best at this kind of coloring, but I do want to give the little girl like black hair, and whenever I do black I always go with just dark grays, and so let's go with the lightest of the gray colors that I chose, and I'm just going to kind of bring this in here, kind of from the center, flick it out a little bit. I'm not going all the way down here. It looks like she has a headband right here, so of course I want to leave that. I think that's what it looks like. No? Like the bow with the headband? Or do you think it's just hair? Maybe it's all hair. Okay, let's just make it all hair. So I'm going to go like halfway down, halfway, or a third, I suppose. Just so that this middle area stays kind of white, so it just looks like her hair is very shiny. And that's basically the only tip I have, basically. Let's go to the medium color that I'll be using. And bring that out, but just not as far as the lightest color. Right? Something like that. And here. And then the darkest color. Oh, I meant to do this other part, but we'll do it later. Or in just a moment. Okay, so that darkest color comes in here. Kind of just a little bit. And I'm going to turn it this way. And again, go with the lightest first. That's the medium color. And come up to almost meet that where I left it. Just so it looks round and cute. Maybe we'll bring this in here. Let's see. Medium color. Again, not as high. Not here. Something in here. I don't know. And then the darkest one. And I didn't do anything over here because it's kind of behind her head, so it's hard to see it anyway. And you can do flicks just because it looks nicer. And now I'll take the lightest color again and just go through everything. And you can leave a whole white section. I mean, that's fine too. I just want to make sure I'm using the light one. But basically we want to just get this all mixed together. And some people do leave that whole white section, which actually looks very nice. But right now I'm just kind of blending it through. And you usually want to go from the darkest and pull it up. So that's why I went up and down. And there's her little black hair, and that's the best I can do, guys. So there you go. Skin tone, you know, everything else, whatever it is you want. She's got skinny little legs there. I don't know if they're boots. It looks like they're legs and like little shoes. So let me give her some little gray shoes, or black, but again, I don't really go in. If you actually use black, like even this was pretty, kind of a lot there. It'll just make the shoe black, and there's whatever detail was there is gone. Let me see, as far as skin tone 3 and 1. Little skin tone. I'm not going to do too much with her legs. I have a couple of colors here. Let me see. Yeah, okay. How come 1 looks darker than 3? I don't know. Okay. Since these are very skinny little legs, I'm just going to put the darker tan color here and kind of at the base here, and then just follow it up with the lighter color. Just pull it down. Something like that. Okay. And same thing with the face. I'll just kind of go around the edges and then pull the color in and her little hands. But I'll have all that going with little music. Okay, guys, so unfortunately I thought these were like both shopping bags, but I think this is a purse, but oh well. So I try to make it a little different with the blue, but they look pretty much the same. And then she has like this little gray underneath her, or I guess it doesn't have to be gray, but a little something. So I'm just gonna kind of come in here and just color that a little bit. Okay, so we need her die. And again, you know, right now she's gonna have a white border, but if you like, you can take like a very light gray or very light blue and just go around the whole image, like just on the edge of it, you know, just follow the whole thing. And then when you cut it out with your die, it won't be stark white, but I do want that white edge, so I do not mind having that here. I can see really well right through there, so I can cut it out pretty confidently where I'm cutting. And then I'm also going to run the same die through some black paper, I think, just to put behind her so she pops. But I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm just going to take this and run it through some black paper, and I'll be right back. Okay. think. Just because there's a lot going on with this piece, you know, and if we want her to just look like she's there, I think we need something like that. Or red, or, you know, even the green. Some kind of color like that would be really cute. Anyway, let's get this glued together. So cute. And I was debating making this one pop too, but I think the white edge on this one is okay. And I am going to put her on some dimensionals. Okay, I think I've taken all the little papers off. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Yeah, they're all shiny. Okay. Let me back off just a little bit here. And I mean, you know, again, she can go this way. Let's have her like right in here somewhere. I haven't really stuck that down yet. This is a higher dimensional than this one. I put them both on dimensionals actually because I thought, well, being flat maybe isn't my favorite for this guy. And trying to see. Cute. Okay, let's squish that from the back there. And that is my card for today, guys. So thanks for watching. I will have images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box. And I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.